In the next set of videos, we're going to talk about few well-defined functions that is there in your book. So based on this, you're going to get complicated questions. So there are one or two which are really important and others are just listed. So we have the very first one, the real valued function. The official definition is as such, a function which has either R, what does R stands for from this list? Yes, it is real number. R or one of its subset as its range is called a real valued function. Further, if its domain is also either R or a subset of R, it is called a real function. What does that mean? It means that you can give any input, but the output has to be real numbers. Okay, you can give any input. So when I tell any input, it can be name, it can be in form of string, it can be in form of sets of things, list of things, but the output has to be a single number, and that has to be a real number, right? So in simple words, it's a function that assigns a real number to each member of its domain, right? I have a letter called as THE, and the output is 3. Then we have, say, ENDS, and say it's related to 4. I have the word is related to 1. EN as an input, and it is related to 2. So I'm sure you guys are able to figure out. I'm just looking at the count of numbers of things, right? So this we have. So we have all of this. Right? So this particular thing, the input for this particular function is for the function L. Okay, I'm using the function len, length actually, and the output would be 5, right? So whatever I give, it can be anything. It can be something like this. It's a combination of alphabets, numericals, and special characters and all of that, but the output is a number. So this is a real valued function, right? So there are quite a few more I have listed over here. So in each of this, there are things which are not your regular number as an input, right? Few of them are and few of them are not. So let me run this. Okay, so we are looking at, just a second. Okay, let me explain it one at a time. So the very first thing is to calculate sine of an angle in radians using sine function from the mathematical model. So here you have, actually this is a number. Math pi is nothing but your pi value 3.14 divided by 6, and the output is, right, sine 30 degree is 0.45, not 4, sorry, 0.5, right? So the input is a number and the output is a number. In absolute function, the input is a number and the output is again a number, right? In your max function, that is, it finds the maximum value in the given list. The input is a list and the output is a number. Okay, so here in sum, input is a list again and the output is a number again, right? So I have a proper full-fledged code wherein we have a function which finds the square of a number, right? So here the input is set of numbers. Of course, we pick up each of this value and we square and we have the following output. So all of this is an example of a real valued function. Now an example of a function, set of functions, two functions actually, which are not real valued function. So here the output is kind of negative number and so on and so forth. So you can see that the output are not your numbers, real numbers, right? So we have the word, a phrase, negative number, which is not a, right, it's not a number, as simple as that. And this is nothing but your imaginary numbers, complex numbers. It's a topic that you're going to study in the future. So they are not real numbers, right? So we have an output of a complex number. Okay guys, so point here is, whenever you have any kind of input and the output is a real number, yeah, it's called as real valued function. But in the case of if the input is also a subset of a real number or the real number, it is called a real function. Okay guys, so end of it, let me talk about the domain and range. So domain is not fixed over here, it can be anything, right? Domain can be anything, that is the input set of values can be anything, but the range has to be R or a subset of R, right? That's the funda.